Bluff City Media presents Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta. Join Francis after every Memphis Tiger game as he breaks down each matchup, player of the game, and upcoming games. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tigers Live, hosted by Francis Carlotta. I'm joined by the man himself, Kenny Stubblefield, coming at you after the Memphis Tigers get a 76-70 win over the San Francisco Dons. Kenny, how you feeling? We're back. Let's do this, man.
It's good to be back. Tell me you didn't accidentally almost say 49ers, or some other name. I typed it. For sure. I had to type San Francisco Dons out probably about 25 times this morning, and every time I said something else, and I was like, wait, what are they again?
Yes. I feel like every time I type out just Memphis versus San Francisco, I felt like it was an Arena Football League match, which, Memphis is getting an Arena Football League team now. So it
apparently
just felt like a UFL or whatever it was. It didn't feel right to type that out. And then everyone kept calling San Francisco South Florida because USL for the initials. So everyone thought that they're playing South Florida. No, the San Francisco Dons.
San Francisco Dons.
Kenny, man, I think a lot of people, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of people thought Memphis wasn't going to win this game after what they were seeing in the exhibitions.
Well, no,
that Auburn game.
I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know if it's necessarily you compound that with some of the comments and quotes and the conjecture and the think pieces and all the articles, the tweets about statements Penny Hardaway made this week about his team. And I would suspect that there was probably a little bit of apprehension, some concern, all those different things about what this game was going to look like. And thankfully they're 1-0. It feels good to be 1-0 on the season, right?
Hey, you can't win every game of your season if you don't win the first one. Point. Yeah. That's not possible. You got to win the first one for that to happen. So the road to an undefeated season, Kenny, is still alive.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that? Is guess what those exhibition games matter? Guess what they count for? They count for zero. They count for nothing. They don't count for wins. They don't count for losses. They don't count for anything outside of getting your team some tape. And that is exactly what. Well, and the first one, getting a lot of money for St. Jude, right? Like, true. Shout out for exhibition games that bring money in for really good causes and don't matter to the ultimate record of your team for the year. Yeah.
I mean, look, exhibitions are what they are. They're exhibition games. You can take as much from you want from them. That's totally your call. But for my money, I'm not going to put all of my stock into what I see from just two exhibition games. And they're the past. Now we're in the regular season. Yep. Now these games count. Now I think someone in the Bluff City Media group chat, this game is gonna hurt our net. And I'm like, oh my God. Here we go. Talking about these things.
I'm be honest with you, I have not missed that. I have not missed talking about net and talking about all those different net rankings and quad 1, 2, 3, 18 wins. Like I love that college basketball is back. It is a fantastic time of the year. We've got college football on TV. We got NFL on TV. We got NBA on TV, and we got college basketball back. It is a great time of the year. The only downside is we got quad 1, 2, 3, 4 net rankings, all that kind of stuff talk happening. It drives me crazy. But guess what? But you know what it does mean though, Francis? It being college basketball season, it means we have live shots of Roman Cleary from the forum. What up, Roman?
It's good. Hey, Roman. Kenny, I do have some good news for you. The net rankings actually do not come out until December 1st, so you still have a bit more time before those come into play. But we don't fret. We still have Ken Palm. We still have Mark Corbett. We still have all those things. But out of all the metrics, the net seems to be the least favorite for everybody. So at least that's there. Hey, it's great to be back, though.
Yeah, Roman, it is good to see you, bro. I'm going to put a challenge out to Roman this year. I'm going to put a challenge out to him. First game of the year. He's got a lot of games at home, a lot of games on the road to do this. I'm going to put a challenge out to him. I want you to get Penny Hardaway on the Tigers Live postgame show. When he walks by you heading to the conference room, I need at least 3 words out of him on this Tigers Live program one time this season. Can we make it happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He's got to deal with us in the press room, and he's got to do Wolo.
Yeah,
and
we can do it. I have it on good authority that he likes seeing you on the camera when he walks past you at the
based off of one incident from the South Florida game last year.
That still makes me laugh, man. That still makes me laugh. That's a great story. Roman, it's great to see you, man. It really is. Haven't talked to you in too long about Tiger basketball. High-level stuff. Give me your thoughts on the first game of the year and the Tigers' first win of the year as well.
I mean, I know it was rough in spots, but overall, I thought Memphis looked really good overall, especially in that second half where I think we really saw what this team can do, and that is with Hassan Abdul-Hakim missing. That is with Tariq Ingram not exactly being in prime game shape. But we saw guys step up like Simon Majak and Tierra Nocilla at certain points. Obviously, you had much of the front court getting into foul trouble early with Ingram and Bradshaw both coming up pretty quickly with 2 fouls. But I just really loved how the backcourt did much of the dirty work down low, really stepping up. Julius Settler with 8 first-half rebounds. That is insane, in my opinion, there. You have Sincere Parker and Quante Berry getting 7 combined rebounds. Memphis ultimately combining for 19 of 26 first-half rebounds. Memphis's guards combined for 19 of Memphis's 26 first-half rebounds. That is some great work there. And then you just saw the scoring explosion from Parker and Berry in the second half there. I think it's pretty fair to say that Sincere Parker is Memphis' best player at this point. I know that, Doug is the big headline name there, but I think he largely underperformed for much of this one. He needed more from Bradshaw. He's got to be able to avoid the foul trouble. If you count exhibition play, this is 2 of 3 times where he's been disqualified. You just cannot have that moving forward. But overall, a solid start to the season for the Tigers.
Man, Roman, you hit on so many good things that I really wanted to discuss with both of y'all. I'll kind of work backwards. Yeah, the Bradshaw stuff, man, the fouls are just too, frankly, dumb. They're just too dumb. They're too ticky-tacky. They're too loose. He has to realize how important he is to this lineup. Well, it's the first game. The hope is that it picks up and he starts to go away from those ticky-tacky fouls. Your point about Doug, though, is something I wanted to talk with both of y'all about. From my perspective, from what I saw about Doug, I wanted him to be more aggressive going downhill and actually look to score in the paint a little bit more. I thought too often he'd come over ball screens or come around ball screens and he would look passive. He would look to try and playmake for other people. And while Memphis needs playmakers, they also need guards who can score. And Doug still is one of the better scorers on this team. And you saw that when that layup he hit with about 30 seconds left, where he just took it coast to coast. He didn't think about anything. He's like, I'm going to put my head down and score and play with that determination that we've seen from him in the past days in Michigan and Kansas State. So I was looking for more from Doug as well. But, at least as a playmaker, he still had – I'm checking his box score. Still finished with 8 assists. So that's still really good. The turnovers were still kind of dumb. But I would like to see Doug get more aggressive. Kenny, give me your thoughts on the game as well, man.
Yeah, with Doug, I agree with you. I do think it being the first game of the year, you're gonna experience, especially with brand new bigs that you're playing with, kind of like what the flow state is for the bigs and the guards when they're on the offensive side of the ball, when they are when they're setting screens and getting to the basket and making plays. They're going to develop kind of a flow state with each other where they are figuring out where they're going to be, who they're going to be with. Playmaking guards can do one of two things when they're learning new players. They can force shots or they can stay back a little bit and try to play make for others. And I appreciated what I saw out of Doug, that he wasn't forcing wild shots today.
Sure.
We've seen him in past teams that he's played for tend to force things offensively. And when I say that, I mean force things for him. Yeah. I didn't feel like he did that today at all. I felt like he passed out of – he tried to get paint touches and then pass out to the wings. making good passes out to the other playmakers, Sincere Parker, Quante Berry, the other guys that were out there. One of the things that I noticed, and I think this will fix itself very quickly for this team, is that the bigs are still trying to figure out. They were on top of each other the entire game. And that is when you've got bigs like they have, 7-footers out there, when you have Scylla and Bradshaw out there, and they're trying to figure each other out. They're trying to still figure out where they're supposed to be instead of being right up on top of each other. There was a lot of clumsiness in the paint with that. And all that is just reps together in real-time game situation. Like, and so yes, I understand what you're saying in terms of what you saw out of Doug and that you'd like to see him get downhill a little bit more. I'm glad that he didn't try to force it, though. I'm glad he didn't try to force shots up. I'm glad he said, hey, you know what? I'm going to get my guys involved. And you see that with 8 assists. You see that with 11 points, a double-digit points without shooting the ball particularly well is still fantastic production. Sure. But 8 assists in his first game out is something that I really like.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree there. Doug was a fantastic playmaker today with those 8 assists. I believe he got 6 against Arkansas as well. So the playmaking department has never really been an issue for Doug in his short time as a Tiger thus far. But you got to think about what Memphis is going to be facing moving forward, right? I mean, this was one where I think the Tigers really had to get, because this is a really difficult non-conference schedule, and San Francisco is honestly one of the weaker opponents on it. But you're not going to be able to get away with this Tuesday at Ole Miss. You're not going to be able to get away with Doug having this kind of scoring number against the Baylors, the Vanderbilts, Purdue. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're going to need Doug to do more in the scoring department when you really face these tough teams at Louisville as well. Like, you're going to need more out of Doug if you want an opportunity to get some of these big quad 1 and quad 2 wins and really build up the NCAA tournament resume there. So Doug did what he needed to do today, certainly, but the Tigers better hope that this is not the best they get out of him, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and it won't be. We've seen Doug. Like, we know what Doug can do. Like, we've seen what he can do. I think that, we're still seeing what the team can look like in its final form. This is not their final form, right?
No, of course not. No.
But you absolutely saw things out there that I think translate well. For me, Sincere Parker translates well for this team. He is a fantastic offensive player. He makes shots. There are just guys that, and the Memphis is full of them right now on the NBA side and the college side. You're seeing that with the Grizzlies right now with Cedric Coward, that whenever he gets the ball just good things happen, right? Like, good things happen when Cedric Coward has the ball in his hands. I feel that way about Sincere Parker too, right? For the Tigers. Like, when Sincere Parker has the ball in his hands, good things happen. The
guy can just flat out score, man. He can just flat out score. One play that really stands out to me is in the first half, where he loses his dribble against David Fuchs at around the foul line, and you're thinking he's dead in the water, but he's able to spin out of it and actually make a jumper through a foul. You just don't see that too often.
Right.
He's just able to figure out ways to put the ball in the basket, and there are very few guys, especially in the collegiate level, who can do that at an effective level that he does.
Dude, some people are just bucket getters. We saw that last year with PJ Haggerty. Some people just know how to score, point blank, period.
Yeah, but the way that Sincere does it is so unique to me. It's not like PJ.
No question. No, it's not.
No, PJ is super reliant on getting fouls, getting to the free throw line. Sincere could do that, but he can just make tough shots.
Yeah.
He could just generate something out of nothing. And that is what I find particularly impressive about what he can do in terms of the scoring.
Yeah. No, I think Sincere is one of those guys that when you think about in college basketball, the most successful teams have guys that make teams, they're kind of like gravity, right? Like, everything comes to when they're on the floor, the defense has to focus on them. The way that the other team responds, there's a certain level of gravity that happens with really good college basketball players. And Sincere Parker is that guy, I think, for the University of Memphis. I think he is one of those guys where even if he's not making buckets, when he's on the floor, other teams are going to have to always keep an eye on him, always know exactly where he's at, always know. And if you're Penny Hardaway, who is one of the best guards to ever play in the game of basketball, you know that Penny Hardaway is going to be able to maximize that for Sincere Parker. He's going to figure out ways to make him even more dangerous off ball, more dangerous in actions and sets that are run for him. It's going to be. I'm really interested. I am as interested as I have been on the impact that the Penny Hardaway system is going to have on a guy as I am in Sincere Parker. Like, I think I'm really interested to see what Penny Hardaway's system, what his offensive sets, what his mind does for Sincere Parker's game this year.
Yeah, I think these are all awesome points about Sincere. He's just a gifted scorer of a basketball. He has such tight handles. He's shifty. He seems to always be balanced, which I love whenever I'm looking at really good ball handlers. He's always balanced, and he knows how to get off shots and score at a really high clip. He's an awesome player, and definitely excited to see.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Eric. That's just incorrect. I'm sorry.
Well, let's not shoot him down. Eric says this. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. We got we got a lot of folks in here today. It's our first episode of Tigers Live in a while, and so we're glad to have everybody back. Sorry for Roman just totally shooting you down, Eric. Roman. I have to tell Roman all the time, don't be a dick. Like, don't be a dick, right?
It's not him. It's just, I'm sorry.
He says, I agree with you, Roman. He says, I know you guys will disagree with me, but I really think Parker would be best coming off the bench. He doesn't distribute at all. If he gets the ball, he's definitely going to shoot, and they need a bench scorer. I would say to you, they need that in the starting lineup, and they need that on the bench. And I think Quante Berry's the bench guy, honestly. I think Quante Berry is that guy who is that if he's got the ball's in his hands and he's a bench player, he's going to shoot, and they need a bench scorer. I think Quante Berry is that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Sincere is just too valuable to have come off the bench. You need to have him for as many minutes as possible, and that's just going to be more likely if he starts as opposed to coming off the bench. And again, he's their best player. You do not bring your best player off the bench. That's not how you win basketball games.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I understand what Eric is saying, but I really do. You see that two-headed monster of the guards with Julius Tedford and Quante Berry off the bench. Bro, they're going to be tough, man. They're going to be a tough matchup for teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think Curtis still has a way to go. He looked pretty bad in both exhibitions.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't much better today. I'm sure he'll get better later on in the year. They're going to need him to be because he's the only playmaker they have besides Doug. But he's just not where he needs to be right now.
Yep, I agree.
It's tough on Curtis. He went to MUS. I know he left for his senior year, but still went to MUS. I went to MUS, so I have a little bit of allegiance to him, but he definitely didn't look that great today. There's definitely issues with his game that I hope he continues to work on. And as we watch him develop throughout the season, I only hope he gets better from this point, no question. I want to say about –
I agree with Chicken Unicorn. I am so glad the Tigers won today because I don't know if I could have taken any more losses after last night.
Gosh.
It's basically the same, right? You got the Grizz in shambles with Ja.
They're not in shambles. They're not in shambles. They won last night, baby. They're 1-0 on the day.
Memphis football failed yet again.
Oh, my gosh.
Basketball and Penny Hardaway. To save the day, to save the city of Memphis.
It's too soon.
They did it last year, and so far they're on I guess they're technically on track to do it again this year, even though they're still
a long way gosh. Roman from the top rope, man.
Roman
from the top rope.
And you know Roman's a wrestling guy. That's his shoot right there. He just dropped a promo on all of us right
He did.
here.
He just dropped the rope. He's the heel. He did a heel promo.
Oh, man.
No, but
slows the heel.
No, stop it. You're crazy.
Look, I did want to say your point about Doug and his chemistry with the bigs. I think as they keep playing ball, as they keep getting reps in practice, as they keep playing in games, I think that'll improve. I saw a lot of times where they'd run high side pick and rolls and Doug would just miss a roller, or even Simon would roll off of the screen and he would seal immediately. Yeah. He sealed immediately, and if Doug just gave him the ball, Simon probably had a really easy 2 points. And so I think that chemistry will get better.
Oh, yeah.
But I do want to talk to y'all specifically about these bigs because 2 times said the bigs look better and deeper than expected. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't, for me, I did not expect to see, I mean, it's one game. I don't want to get too carried away. But I did not expect to see, especially Simon Majok, that comfortable in his first real game of college basketball. Scylla gave really good energy on both sides as well, on the glass, even as a rim protector as well. Bradshaw, we know what he can be and who he is right now. Ingram is still trying to find his footing, but really I'm happy with what I saw from Scylla and Majok specifically, because I think Bradshaw will be fine. Ingram will be fine as well. So what did y'all think about the big man performance from the Tigers today?
I mean, Simon Majok, he's not a starting big, right? But he can be really, really effective in spurts. I think that's what we saw today. He played in the final 7 minutes of the first half, and during that time, Memphis went on a 14-5 run to finish the half and also forced 6 of San Francisco's 8 first-half turnovers. So you saw Majok, who is obviously really talented, coming in from overseas. South Sudanese prospect, played in Serbia last year. He's definitely got some potential, especially in the long term. But for this year, if you can find a way to best utilize him in those short spurts, get the most out of him during that short allotted time, then I think he can be very effective to a degree there.
I 1,000% agree with Roman. I said this in our group text that we had, the three of us, while the game was happening. I want to caution all Tigers fans to not look at those minutes that Simon Majok gave today and say, oh my gosh, let's not overreact to and give him more, and say he needs more minutes. He is a super effective player in spurts. He is and I think one of the things that is so unique about coaching basketball is knowing when you pull somebody and when you don't, when you maximize what they do and when you bring them off the floor. And Simon Majok, he's a unique kind of player because he's so big and has a semi-decent shot and is such a force in the paint on defense because he's just so big and has a wiry athleticism length.
So long.
But let's pump the brakes on the conversation around. I really do think, I think ultimately in the final form of this team, I think what Penny Hardaway would like to see is a Tariq Ingram, Aaron Bradshaw front court to start the game.
And also, Hassan Abdul-Hakim didn't even play today.
And Hassan, right. 100%.
He's the most talented guy they got. And he didn't even play today, so it's hard for the final form in that.
That's a fantastic point. He's a big 6'8", 6'9". More than likely, will probably assume that Nick Jourdain role.
Penny Hardaway's on the way, so I have to depart here.
Get him on the show. Get him on the show. Get him on the show. Get him on the show right now.
I got it, man. I'll see y'all later.
Appreciate you, Roman.
Hey, the Tigers are 1-0. Roman is 0-1 on the season for getting Penny Hardaway on the show. That's so funny. Hey, real quick, let's take a break. And when we come back, we will finish that conversation because I think that's a kind of a dope conversation. So we'll finish that. All right. Cool.
Those two dudes aren't without blame, bro.
Oh God,
they're not.
Yes.
I understand that Tomas Islo's a coach. I understand that he's got his way he wants to go about doing things. But there should be times, bro, where those two dudes should be able to get together and say, hey, man, look, I hear that. I hear what dude is saying. That shit, let's go hoop, bro. Let's go do what we know works, bro.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
I am not coming out of the game with 8 minutes left in the first quarter, Jaren Jackson.
No, fuck you.
That. I'm not doing that.
Fuck you.
I'm not doing it.
Find me. I'm not going to sit down. We're going to go fucking win these games. That's on those two dudes, though, man. That part bothers me a lot, that they're not being those dudes.
Yeah.
It bothers me that they're just kind of cooling and vibing with everything. Even though they're looking depressed, they're looking sad, and they're moping about it, and poor Jaren. Man, fuck all that, bro. Y'all two are the leaders of the team, man.
Tune in to the Anthony Sainz Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
I used to be a guy that said it was more important who finished the game than who started the game. And I still more or less believe that, but there is one massive caveat that I have to ask. It's more important who finishes the game than who starts the game, as long as the people who start the game doesn't put you in a freaking crater. If you cannot survive your starting lineup, then something has to change. In the first quarters, in 9 games that the Grizzlies have played, they are losing first quarters by 44 points. They are losing the starter minutes. If you're not considering tweaking the starting lineup, then what are you considering tweaking? Are you just saying like, oh, they'll figure it out? This is going to work? Based on what?
Tune into the Two Buck Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Can I just say, before we get back to what we were talking about, Kenny, that spot for Trilogy Tattoos that you did, man, you look smooth. Like, you delivered it so clean. I was like, who is that? Oh my gosh.
Hey, and that's the finished product right there, baby. Let's go. Listen, shout out to Trilogy, man. Richie Jarvis and Trilogy Tattoos. You can find them. Part of our marketing strategy with them is every tattoo has a story, right? Like, you let Trilogy Tattoos tell your story. And so this has a story for me. The other one I got a couple months ago has a story for me. Let Trilogy tell your story. And Richie has also started a podcast called Tattoos Tale, which is basically them interviewing people, getting tattoos, and telling their story about their tattoo. It's such a dope idea. It's such a dope content.
So cool.
Go check it out, man. It's a lot of fun. They're rolling things out right now, but Richie Jarvis is the man. 27 years in Memphis at Trilogy Tattoos. He's the man. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, beautiful. How many takes did you do for that? I gotta ask, Kenny.
153.
No, come on. No,
come on. I have the bloopers.
No way, man.
I have the bloopers. It was terrible.
No way.
Oh, it was so bad. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So bad. Yeah, no, it was bad.
That's
that
awesome.
one was take number 153. I was finally like, screw it. I'm done. That was it. Like, I'm not doing anymore.
That is so funny. No, great stuff, man. Yeah, shout out to Trilogy Tattoos, no question. Everybody in the comments too.
Look,
320 some people in here. Hell yeah.
Let me tell you too. If you are in this comment, if you're watching this show, if you're watching it live, if you're watching the replay of it, we have this whole space down here below me and Francis.
It's
empty, bro. Like, we would love to have your company in this on this show. I'm going to make a wild guess and say that 319 people in the episode today, live right now, is going to be the lowest we have all year. So there's going to be thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that are going to see this show after every Tigers game, and they're going to see your logo, and we'll do a commercial for you. We'll do a little 30-second spot for you. I'll get Francis's gorgeous ass on a commercial, and we'll promote your show we'll promote your company for you, man. Just come and join us down here. You can hit me up at Kenny at bluffcitymedia.co, and we can talk about it. So anyway, shout out.
Hell yeah.
But I will say, I do want to have one conversation with you. We got 322 people that are watching this show right now live. There might have been 322 people in the FedEx Forum today for the game. I texted you in the middle of the game. For all transparency's sake, I'm out here in Carville. You're all the way over in sunny California.
Yeah.
What the hell, bro? Like, why? What happened? Like, where were the Tiger fans today?
Kenny, we could have an entire hour-long discussion about this, probably, because like it's probably there's so many layers to all of these things that I don't want to get into everything, but surface level, like just very 50,000-foot view, it's just expensive to get down to downtown. And then the team itself, like that's the problem with the transfer portal. It's hard for fans of these programs like Memphis, who's not a real blue blood of college basketball, to latch onto. And just when people start to get attached to dudes like PJ, Tyrese, etc., they're gone. And it's hard in this day and age. I think it is harder for the typical fan to want to come down to downtown Memphis, to go into the cold, pay for parking, eat food in the FedEx Forum or what have you, and then want to watch Tiger basketball when the Tigers are not a perennial powerhouse type team. I really think that is a big part of it. There's a lot of other things that I don't really want to talk about, but I think that's a part of it for sure. Kenny, you're more tapped into it than me. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, like I guess it's I didn't go down there today because I really want to concentrate on Tigers Live this season. I want to make sure the show and that you're not having to do it by yourself, and that so I wanted to get started off on the right foot this year. But I'm usually there at every game, and it felt emptier than normal to me, and maybe that's the case. And so I would like to know, everybody that's in the comment section, 331 people in the comment in the live chat. Tell me why, if you weren't there at the game, if you're in Memphis, tell me why you weren't there. And there's no wrong answers. Just tell me what made your decision to not go. I saw Timo said sad from yesterday. I understand that. I get that. The Tiger football team lost to Tulane last night. Almost made an epic comeback again.
Oh, so close.
Season. And just shot themselves in the foot too many times, man. Just too many false starts, too many bad plays, too many holding. Just
Kenny,
real bad first half.
Kenny, I think a lot of it too, it's the names of these opponents that come into the forum are just not the most attractive names. Like the casual, not even the casual Tiger fan, just Memphis Tigers fans, they don't get tickets to let's go watch them play San Francisco. No, that's not really a big deal. We saw when Arkansas came for, I know it's an exhibition game, I know it's for St. Jude, but that was a huge moment just to have Arkansas with Calipari come into the FedEx Forum, and that was a great atmosphere for an exhibition game. And I really believe that if there are going to be if they want to get a lot of fans in the FedEx Forum for Memphis Tigers games, especially the non-conference, because you obviously can't control your conference. That's just who's in your conference. But at least out of conference, it just has to be more sexy names they play. Ole Miss games, when Ole Miss comes, always packed, always. Alabama, we saw what that was like when they came to Memphis. Absolutely insane atmosphere in a whiteout. That was one of my favorite things. We know that Memphis Tiger basketball fans love this team. But no matter how much you love the team, if the Tigers are underperforming to whatever degree of underperforming you think they are, and they're not playing some great names out of conference, it's hard, man. Like I get it. I do understand why we're at where we're at in terms of fan attendance. I do understand it.
Quite a few from one specific commenter, and I'll just kind of throw these in here. Parking downtown is $15 now. Yeah, that makes sense. Food in the Forum is $20 for soda and popcorn. The ticket is $20+. It's just too much, right? Like it's just too much money. Then some people said, man, the football game was late. Some people are at work. Let me see. Let me find the other one. The same guy said, I think people didn't come because 0 returning players from last season, all new roster, not familiar with the names. But listen, that's like, you might not be familiar with the names on the back. My only comment to this argument is you're familiar with the name on the front, right?
Sure.
Like it's still Memphis. And it's like, is that how we live our lives? Like, do we live our lives like, I'm not familiar with you, so I'm not going to get to know you? Like, do you say I'm just not going to show up and get to know you and try to engage with you and figure out who you are? And why did you choose my city? Why like we have heard so much negativity about the city of Memphis over the last year about why nobody wants to come to Memphis and the Grizzlies want to leave Memphis, which isn't true. Everybody wants to leave. These guys chose to come here. They're here and put the name of Memphis on the front of their shirt. And so maybe I would just suggest that it's a part of our civic duty and responsibility to go and support those guys. They chose to come here. You might not know who they are, but they chose you. They chose Memphis. They chose your school to put the name of the jersey, to put the name of your city on the front of their shirt. That to me tells me, give them some grace and let's go see them. Let's go get to know them.
No, Kenny, I 1000% agree with you. I guess the other side of the argument that I'm not even advocating for is that in this day and age of transfer portal, college basketball, NIL, there are still too many people who have a negative opinion on college sports because of the landscape of college sports.
Yeah.
And they just assume, without taking the moment to get to know these guys, they assume that they don't care about the name on the front. You know what I'm saying? Because they're here to play college ball only to get paid, only for NIL money, only for this, for that, not to play for the university. So to a lot of people, they got to see the effort, the energy, the fight from these new guys to prove to this group of fans that, hey, we're not playing for the name on the back of the jersey. Yeah. We're playing for the name on the front of the jersey. And that takes time. Like not only does it take time, it takes seeing them actually play basketball for a lot of fans to make up their mind and think to themselves, okay, y'all actually care about playing for Memphis. You know, they're not going to take publicity, interviews. They're not going to take lip service from players who say that, oh, I'm still happy to be here. I love playing for Memphis. No, what a lot of fans want to see is how are y'all going to play on the court? Are y'all going to really give it your all? Are y'all really going to die for loose balls? Are y'all really going to fight on the glass? Or are y'all going to give up like we saw from a certain basketball team 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that is where I think a lot of fans are in terms of, oh, am I going to want to pay all this money to go to the FedEx Forum to watch this team play? And they're not even going to fight for the city. They're not going to fight for the University of Memphis. But, the transition to this team, Kenny, I think, and I texted you this, effort and what we're just talking about now, I don't think that will be a problem
100%
for this team. 100%. I'm confident that this game today won a lot of fans over. Because the idea of these Tigers, as I talked about off the jump of the show, off the exhibition games, were kind of negative for, it's exhibition games. Yeah. I'll bring up this comment from Carlos. People judge them off the first 2 exhibition games.
Totally agree,
I think
Carlos.
We have a real shot because they're a type of team that will grow. Yeah.
100%.
100% agree. Too many people saw exhibition games. A loss against Arkansas. They played well in the first half, and then they got the doors beat off them in the second, and then they got their butts whipped at Auburn. Let's not sugarcoat that.
It is what it is.
But again, Kenny, they're exhibition games. They are not indicative as to who this team really is. And now, again, the other side, I'm not going to sit here and say that one win against San Francisco will totally set the tone for the year. But I think you can take a lot of real positives from, at the very least, the effort that you saw from these guards, the front court, the wings, this team as a whole. They dominated the glass. And as you know, as I know, as a lot of us know, rebounding is effort. It's so much predicated on effort. And the turnovers were there, but I think the turnovers on Memphis' side was just not really knowing each other well. Still, not in the same page too often. And I think that'll get better, but they forced a good amount of turnovers from San Francisco. Let me pull up the stats. They forced 16 San Francisco turnovers. And Kenny, I thought it was more. I thought
it was more too, to be honest with you.
I thought they turned over more than that, man, because I thought San Francisco constantly looked sped up. They constantly looked frustrated. And that's predicate on how active Memphis was on the defensive side. Yeah. So all of these issues that we're talking about with fan engagement and all these things, I really think that this team won over a good amount of fans today from this performance solely on the effort that they gave.
Well, let's get back to the game. We can have that conversation, and I agree. I understand, and like I said earlier, there is no wrong answer. I'm not downing anybody for not coming. I just would say, if you can, let's not make excuses. Let's just get out there and go and see this team play. You'll get to know them, and I do think this team, like you said, is that kind of team. I said it in the exactly. King Meeks. Yeah. King Meeks is 100% right. And he's very rarely right. King Meeks is very rarely right. That man, whoo.
Hey, he said I looked good. He said I looked good early in the show.
Well,
so
again, he's batting 500 then, because even though I will say one of my enjoyable things about watching TV is like from season, like shows is season to season, you see how people look different when they come back. We haven't seen each other in a minute. Like you're out in California being a lawyer, you're out changing the world. Man, your hair looks good, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Credit my wife. It was all her decision.
Yeah.
And I want to make her happy. She likes the long hair.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
you look good, bro. You look good. Listen, can I tell you something? This is just between me and you. Nobody else is watching. I'm old. I'm old. And you know how I figured it out last night? I figured it out. Have you ever there's sometimes you can tell, I was at the football game last night, and I felt a tingle in my nose, and I could tell it was a hair. I could tell it was a hair, and there was a hair in my nose that was tingling in my nose. I was breathing, and it was kind of going like this in my nose. And so I reached up into my nose and I pulled that hair out. It's pure white.
Oh,
I'm old, bro.
Dang.
Like pure gray. Yeah. There's a reason why I've shaved the beard down, shaved the hair off, because it's all going gray, man. It's all growing gray. you still look good. You ain't got that problem. But let's get back to the game. I'm glazing you, but let's get back to the game a little bit. Let's do this. Me and you had the conversation before the show started. Who's your player of the game? Who would you give as a player of the game? Tigers Live, Memphis versus San Francisco. Who's the player of the game for tonight?
I mean, my first player of the game for the year definitely has to be Quante Berry because of the big shots that he hit in this game. There were two, just as soon as San Francisco would get a little bit of, well, not even a little bit, they were getting momentum. They were making these 10-0 runs and making this game a 6-point game and really eating into that 23-point lead that Memphis had over San Francisco. Quante Berry was the guy who hit clutch three after clutch three after clutch three. I think it was in the AAC media day, I think Temple's coach talked about Quante a bit and said he thinks that he's going to have a bit of a breakout year under Penny here at the Tigers. And I like Quante Berry when I watched him at Temple. And from what we see, again, it's just game one, all the caveats and all that stuff. He could be a real deal player off the bench. He's active on defense, and if he can consistently hit a 3-point shot, I don't expect Quante to shoot 4 for 6 from 3 every game. But if he can shoot like 38%, 40% from 3 throughout the season with the same impact defensively that he can have, I mean, that is invaluable coming off the bench. And so, Quante for me is my player of the game.
For me, the beauty of it is not how many he made, but how many how the shots came, right?
The timing of the shots.
The timing of the shots, the rhythm of the shots, they came out of an offensive flow. They were shots that are very difficult to defend. When they come off of skip passes, right? Like we talk all the time about how do you pass the ball and be effective with your passing? Skip passing, side A to side B passing is the only real way to do that. And most of those shots came off of passes like that. They came out of the flow of the offense. And for me, that really, I guess, changed the game for the Tigers. I think him personally, he stopped multiple San Francisco runs with a big three.
Oh yeah.
And so that to me was impressive. I liked what I saw out of him in that regard. I'll tell you this, man, he has been kind of an under the radar guy for me. And I think for most Memphis fans we're just getting that. we're just getting the Temple guy, right? Like, oh, he's just the Temple guy. Oh man, the Tigers used to have the money to be able to go and get guys that were, from blue blood teams and, guys that were these, major high resume guys. But Memphis got Quante Berry. Ooh. Well, let me tell you, man, I saw Quante play twice last year against Memphis. And they had a couple of pretty awesome players on that team. But Quante Berry stuck out to me the most in the way that he moved and the way that he facilitated the ball and his size and his willingness to get down in the trenches and play. And so the Quante Berry signing for me was underrated to a degree because I feel like he is the kind of guy that is going to do a lot of the dirty work defensively, a lot of the rebounding. You saw him get, how many rebounds did he have tonight?
He had 4, but they all felt really important.
Yeah, 4 rebounds. Yeah, right in front. It's literally right in front of me. 4 rebounds. Important rebounds, like guard rebounds. Guard rebounds are so important. He is a guard. He's a 6'4" point guard for this team. He got 4 rebounds. Shot the ball well, 4 of 6 from the 3-point line. Super impressed with Quante Berry. For me, it's Sincere Parker. Sincere Parker is my player of the game. Sincere is just, I think he is going to be, like I said earlier, Sincere Parker is the kind of ball player that when the ball is when he's on the floor and the ball is in his hands, good things happen. It might not translate to him making all of the shots. It might not translate to him scoring a metric ton of points that like guys like PJ Haggerty had last year, but good things happen when Sincere Parker is in the game and he has the ball in his hands. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and only 2 turnovers, 6 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the 3-point line. I will say the only thing that wasn't great was that he was 2 for 7 from the free throw line. That's not going to happen again. I can promise you that. I just think Sincere Parker is one of those guys that I just think is going to be super impactful for the Tigers this year. I think he's their best. I think he's their best player, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's hard for me to answer that definitively, but Sincere is definitely up there, if not the best player on the Memphis Tigers roster. With Sincere, I think you have the bucket getter that can stop any momentum. Like, remember last year, there were so many times where the other team would go on a run that PJ Haggerty would score like 5 straight points. Sure, he would get to the foul line and he'd hit a layup or he'd hit a tough shot or he would find a way to stop the other team's momentum single-handedly. And I think Sincere is kind of the same guy. If another team's getting on a run and you just need someone to kind of get you a bucket to calm you down, calm the rest of the team down, Sincere seems like that guy to do that for Memphis this year. I don't think you can go wrong with Sincere. I do want to read off this Quante Berry sequence though, because in my game notes, I didn't realize it until I was talking about this out loud, that the game, it was 51-40, a little over 12 minutes left in the second half. Quante hits a big 3, and that was, I think, when USF started to switch to the 1-3-1 and nothing was happening. Then Quante hits a huge 3. Right. Quante hits another huge 3. And then Quante has that acrobatic tip-in. You remember that tip-in?
Oh, yeah.
Where he kind of came out of nowhere. And he just somehow guided the ball into the hoop. And that was 8 straight points solely from Quante. And those points were needed because San Francisco was scoring as well. San Francisco, they're kind of going back and forth, but his effort there is huge. And then you had that pull-up. After Barry's tip-in, you had a pull-up from Sincere. And when I talked about earlier about how balanced Sincere Parker is, I want all of y'all, when y'all watch the Tigers play again, think about when you watch Sincere have the ball, think about how balanced he is and how in control he always looks. Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts about watching high-level guards is how in control and how balanced do they look when they have the ball in their hands. Bro, Sincere, he just looks like he's always in control. His body's never out of control. His handles are always tight. He can get to his step back at will. He's a bucket getter. Like, Sincere is a damn damn good players. So
totally
yeah,
agree.
I don't think you can go wrong with that at all. I want to talk. Let's finish the discussion we had about Magic in the front court that we're talking about before the break, because I wanted to also bring this up. Last year we saw how Penny loved doing high lows with Musa and Dane. Dude, these bigs, they're versatile as all hell, man. Like they're really versatile. They can be on the outside, they can bang down low, they're strong, they're physical. I think Penny has a lot of options that he can do with the front court pairings. And I think he can also figure out a really decent high-low game between the bigs as well. And I think that the front court could be a real strength for this Tigers team that I wasn't expecting. How do you feel?
I agree. Offensively, I think they can be, because they're tenacious on rebound. They're tenacious on the boards. They're tenacious in the paint. I don't know how many of those guys are going to be able to do any kind of like back to the basket, like Dane Danger type of moves. I don't see that happening at all.
Right.
I see a lot of just tenacity. I think the Grizzlies. I think the Tigers have 3 Musa Cisse's on that floor right now, in Bradshaw, Majok, and Scylla. And I think that guys that aren't, I think Bradshaw can be a guy that you utilize in, pick and roll, pick and pop type of situations, because he's got a really nice jumper. Like he's got one of those super clean jumpers.
It's smooth, man.
Very smooth. So I think you could use him in actions and plays, but when Scylla and Majok are in the game, those 2 guys are guys that I say, hey man, every rebound needs to be yours, right?
Yeah.
Like every rebound, go fight, go play defense. The only thing that's going to hurt this front court is just their inability to stay out of foul trouble. Their inability to not foul. We saw it in the 2 exhibition games. We saw it today. An inability to not even just like like when you're playing basketball and you're a big, if you're not fouling, then you're not playing hard. That's one caveat to this conversation. But it's the kind of fouls that you get. It's the kind of fouls that you take. There was a lot of guards jumping into our bigs, and our bigs, instead of just like literally standing up at their full 7 foot, whatever they are, with a 10-inch or 10-foot wingspan, just holding their arms up. There's a lot of movement, a lot of trying to block the shots. I wish I could help big guys understand that if you just be big and stand up and hold your arms up without moving, number 1, you're not going to foul. Number 2, you're probably going to block a lot more shots than you would jumping and trying to block shots. You know what I'm saying? Like you're out of control, and it looks, when you're 7'1" and you are jumping like that, it doesn't look normal. And so refs, especially college refs, because they suck, are going to call fouls, because how dare this 7'1" guy look awkward swinging his arms around? I'm going to call a foul even if there was no touch. That's going to happen. It's baked into the college game. And so, like, I need my bigs to understand that if you just just get as wide as you possibly can, get as long as you possibly can, and just hold your body still when a guy is jumping into you, it's either going to be a charge, or you're going to get a block, or you're going to impact the shot. There's like 0 negatives that happen if you just get big and get tall. Yeah. There's a lot of negatives that can happen if you're jumping and trying to swing over the back of somebody, trying to block shots, using your arms. It just will never work in the college game, because number 1, you're not good enough to do that. Number 2, refs are going to call those fouls. And so that's the only thing I see that's going to impact the front court for the Tigers this year, is if their bigs continue to foul as much as they do. That's a problem.
And it's not even just those fouls, Kenny. I talked about earlier in the show when we talked about Bradshaw. It's the fouls that are 30 feet from the hoop that piss me off so much. Yeah. 30 is too far, but like 24, 22 feet from the hoop. Those fouls piss me off more than the fouls that you get in the paint. Yeah. Because what are you doing trying to body up a guard? I know you're trying to come up, you're trying to show and be strong and be a presence. But what are you doing bumping into the guard with the ball when they're coming off the screen? what is the point of that? Like, that nothing good is going to happen if you just slide your hips and just bump into a guy. That's a foul that can only be avoided very easily. That's a very easily avoidable foul if you just put yourself in the right spot and you don't just like slide your hips and try and hip check a guy.
Yeah.
Those are the fouls that piss me off the most, because those are frankly dumb, boneheaded fouls that don't need to happen. So I agree with you. I think the foul trouble is probably the biggest thing that can hold this team back. But I am still encouraged from what I saw from them today. Versatile front court, rebounded, they dominated. And I want to shout out Julius Tedford. I know we talked about him briefly. Yes. My goodness. I mean, talk about a dog. My God. Like, he played with so much effort. He seems like he's everywhere on the floor. Yes. I mean, he only had one steal, but again, that doesn't feel right.
No.
Like, I just feel like he was everywhere on the floor. He had 9 rebounds in the whole game. As Roman said, 8 in the first half. He's a really good player, man. I think that we're talking about in the text message. How are you feeling about? Well, let me ask you this question, Kenny. I know you asked Roman in the show that y'all did with Shamario as well. Awesome show. Everyone go check that out. What for you will be, when everyone's healthy, what's your like ideal 9-man rotation, 8-9-man rotation? I'll give you the leeway of another guy.
Yeah, I think I said a certain 9-man rotation at the beginning in that first game, or in that first podcast we did on Beat with BCM, 7 p.m. You can check it out. Shamari Wiseman, Roman Cleary are on the show. We're going to be adding somebody new, Sam Shoemaker, who is who broke the story about Taj Rael stealing the playbook or sharing the playbook with UTSA last year. Sam Shoemaker is going to be joining those two for the On Beat with BCM podcast on Wednesdays at 7 live on Love City Media. But I think I gave a 9-man rotation, and I think it's changed based on today's game. I understand the measurables and what Zachary Davis looks like. I know he looks like an Adonis, and I know he looks like a guy who should be absolutely effective. He's just not effective right now. And I wonder, there haven't seen much from him in the first 2 exhibitions, and I didn't see much today. And so he's moved down the list in terms of a 9-man rotation for me. I think Quante Berry and Julius Tedford have moved up. I think I honestly would seriously consider adding Julius Tedford to the starting lineup. Possibly, unless you don't want to go that small, because then you'd probably have to put him at the 3. Right. I don't know if you want to go that small. I think he could be a dynamic defensive athletic wing for the Tigers off the bench. Quante Berry's the same way. I would consider moving Curtis Gibbons to the bench until he shows a little bit more in terms of in terms of like force, right? Like aesthetically, he's got every intangible that you would ever look for, but it's about what kind of force can you put on the defense, and he just does not put force on a defense right now. I don't know if it's a athleticism or if it's just a tentativeness or trying to figure it all out. I don't know. He's a sophomore. He's second year, first game in his second year, so I get it. There's a transition time period. I'd like to see more out of him. I'd like to see him utilize his size and create mismatch issues. Starting 5 for me would be Doug, Sincere. More than likely, it'll be Hassan at the 3. It'll be Bradshaw at the 4 and Silla at the 5. I like that lineup a lot. I think Silla and Bradshaw could be very, very good together.
I agree.
Because I think Bradshaw is a guy that can be an offensive threat, and Silla is a guy who can literally just wreck shop on both sides of the floor. He's just that athletic and that physical, and he's relatively chaotic. And I like that in some of my I like chaos agents in my bigs. I like one big that's a chaos agent, and that's Tierno Silla. Off the bench, I would definitely bring in Quante and Julius. I like I think Curtis. I think Simon Mayock is another a good big. Until Tart gets into shape, I don't think he gets minutes on this team. So I think that's my 9. Does that make sense? Is that a good 9?
I think it's a good 9, man. I'll give mine quickly. Yeah, Doug, Sincere, Bradshaw, Silla, Hassan, as same 5 as you. You know, I think Bradshaw. That's why I talk about the high-low stuff, because Bradshaw is a more versatile big who can play on the perimeter. He can hit threes. He can ball handle a little bit. And I would like, you could do it easily, run a 4-out, 1-in offense easily with Bradshaw and Silla, because Bradshaw can just space the floor and then attack closeouts because he's 7 feet tall, who can handle a bit and put the ball on the floor. Yeah. And I think I'd be very happy with that from Bradshaw. Silla be the one big inside, just being an absolute menace. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know anything about Silla.
I didn't
really
either.
At all.
I didn't either.
My goodness, like that dude's a man. Like he's a unit. He's a big dude who can actually be super effective on the boards as a rim protector. And you saw him dive for loose balls multiple times, which you love seeing big man dive on the floor. You love that. And there are a couple moments I said too, when they would run pick and roll, Silla and Doug would come around the screen, Silla would be just butt naked wide open, and Doug just didn't see him. He just didn't see him. And so, you know, as soon as they get that chemistry together, I think Silla will be even more impactful. But
I agree.
I like the Bradshaw-Silla combo a lot. Off the bench, it's definitely Quante. It's definitely Thedford. I'm going to throw my boy Simon Mayock in there because I really like what I saw. If you can get 12 minutes from him and he's that impactful, oh my God. those are great 12 minutes that you're getting from Simon.
Those 3 names you've just mentioned off the bench are probably going to be more impactful than any Tiger they had on the bench last year. Like, let's be honest about that, right? Like, as much as I liked PJ Carter, Julius Tedford and Quante Berry will be more impactful than PJ Carter was last year for the Tigers. Simon Mayock will be much more impactful than any big that came off the bench.
Yeah, no question. And, you know, you still have Ashton, you still have Zach Davis, like you mentioned, you still have Tariq. Between those guys, it kind of just depends on who's playing well in practice and who has a hot hand in the game.
Well, Ashton played well today. I mean, he had a
I mean, Ashton was fine. He hit his first 2 threes and then missed 3 straight open threes after that. Like, kind of.
But I will say he was also extremely effective passing the ball. He made a couple of passes that were pretty phenomenal for a guy his size.
Yeah.
A playmaking ability. He showed a playmaking ability that I did not see at all from Zach Davis. From Zach Davis.
No. I mean, I'll just read the minutes distribution for everyone. So Doug 37 minutes, Sincere 25, Silla 23, Curtis Gibbons 14, Bradshaw 8 minutes, and that was the starting 5 for today's game. Off the bench, Quante played 25 minutes, Zachary Davis played 22, Ashton played 19, Tedford played 17, Simon played 9, and Tariq Ingram played 1 minute. And that 1 minute he was in, he looked awful. He looked really bad, like just really, really bad. So that's the minute split. I think we'll see the guys that we're talking about start to get more minutes as the season goes on. If Ashton's hitting threes, I'm totally fine with him on the floor. But if he's not, then I get to question his value much more. But if he's hitting threes, no question. He's an X factor. Tweeted this out. I think he's an X factor for the team because of his ability to hit threes that Memphis desperately needs.
To expand the floor, to stretch the floor out. Like, there is a level of, we talked about it with even Sincere, even though Sincere is a better skilled player than Ashton, a gravity, right? Like, he creates gravity for the defense. Like, if Ashton Hardaway is hitting threes, then he instantly becomes a gravity piece for the Tigers because defenses have to pay attention to him. Until I see Zach Davis be able to effectively dribble, effectively shoot, effectively catch, and effectively rebound, there is no gravity there, even though he looks the part. He looks the part. He is one of those guys that you look at and you're like, dang, dude, that dude should be awesome. But I just didn't see it tonight, and I didn't see it in the exhibitions. And I really am like, as you know, him being probably the most, outside of Doug, being the most lauded, you know, guy to come into the program this year. I think that's disappointing that he's not where he needs to be talent wise, or even whatever you want to call it. He's not ready. And so I would definitely look at his minutes and say, who can we distribute those minutes to that are more effective, that have more of an impact on winning than Zach Davis does right now.
Yeah, I fully agree. But Kenny, look, man, overall, there's not too much to complain about this win. 70, you know, it's a good win from the Memphis Tigers, 76-70 against a solid San Francisco team that was picked third in the West Coast Conference. Team that was a good team last year that Memphis beat. Solid team this year that returned, I think, damn near everybody. They returned 8 guys or something. I can't remember. Yeah. It's off the top of my head, but yeah, this was a good team that Memphis beat, especially after 2 exhibition games where people thought the sky was falling and Memphis was going to lose. No, this is. I talked to you about this before. You know, we talked, you know, off season, all that stuff. I think this team is really slept on just nationally. I know that they're picked to win the conference. That's a given. I think they're the best team in the American Athletic Conference by a shadow of a doubt. But nationally, in terms of bracketology and people's actual thoughts on Memphis as a actual contender for anything that matters, it's still pretty low. And I think that'll change as the season starts to go on. You know, there are obviously still holes, there's still flaws. Will Memphis be a 5 seed again? Probably not. But can they still get out of an 8-9 game and be a 7 seed, 6 seed? Yeah, I think that's very possible. And I think a lot of people didn't think that would be that possible entering this year. But I really do think that's possible here with how versatile this team is, how much effort that you've seen them play with, especially in this game, especially on both sides of the floor. Defensively, I think they're going to be better. And let's see, man. Let's see. I'm excited for this season. I'm excited to get going. Oh, it's good to be back, Kenny. It's good to be back.
And I do want to say this. This comment came in: when we face number 1 Purdue in 2 weeks, we will see where we are. Let's not let number 1. This is not UConn from last season, right? The Purdue is the number 1 for real, right? Like, they are legit good. Let's not set the barometer for the season on whether or not they beat number 1 Purdue. Like, can we do that? Is that okay? Can we not? Can we? Hey, can everybody in the comment section, can you promise me that you won't freak out if they don't beat Purdue? Like, is that okay?
Yeah. Hey, look, next game they go at Ole Miss. That I think that's a big game.
That's a better barometer.
That's a better barometer. If they get blown out at Ole Miss, then all right, then my tone of positivity will not be the same in the next episode of Tigers Live. It will be a totally different tone. But I don't think that'll happen. You know, I do think this team is a good basketball team.
Yeah.
Much better than people expected, at least. And so let's see. Let's see how they do at Ole Miss on November 11th, Kenny. Any last thoughts before you get out of here?
Man, I'm good. I'm just glad. I'm sad about the game last night, the Tiger football game. I think it was it's nice to end Saturday with a win for the Tigers. I'm excited about this season, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this season has the potential to be a fun season for Memphis fans and for this Tiger basketball program. I think as much as I think I'll make this prediction by the end of the season, I think that Tiger fans will know this team and love this team better than they have previous teams. And
I love that.
I think that because I think they show you a lot about who they are on the floor. They are scrappy. They fight. They don't back down. And it might not look pretty all the time, but they're going to fight every single day.
Yeah. Love that. Love that prediction. Meeks, you said, hey, Francis, when are you coming to Memphis? Well, I'm turning 30 January 22nd, 30 years old, hitting the big 3-0 in January.
No, it ain't.
I definitely want to go home. I want to see my parents. I want to see friends. I want to see Kenny. I want to see all of y'all. So we're figuring things out. If we can do a live Tigers Live, that would be dope.
Would there be anybody interested in us doing a live Tigers Live experience at a watch party for that Purdue game on November 20th? Would anybody come to that? Would anybody come and hang out? I know Francis might not be able to make it at that point. It's a little close. Right. But we're going to get Francis back. We're going to get Francis back at some point this season, and we're going to do a live Tigers Live show with myself, Roman, and Francis all at the same table at a watch party at a restaurant in the city of Memphis.
Yep. We're going to make it happen, man. We're going to make it happen for all of y'all. Look, like, this is so great. The first game back, Tigers win. All of y'all in the comments, everybody who's tuned in, man. Y'all are fantastic. The support y'all show us, man. Also, the support y'all have shown Bluff City Media throughout this whole time frame. I haven't done a BCM show in a minute, so I just want to say before we get out of here, to everybody at Bluff City Media, y'all are fantastic. Kenny, all the hosts of the shows, y'all are awesome. I cannot stress that enough. And to all of y'all who have listened to our shows, watched our shows, who have tapped in with us, supported us, thank you. Yep. Thank you so much. We're only going to keep growing. We're only going to get better at what we do. And y'all support, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do any of this without y'all support. So
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. So on behalf of Kenny Stubblefield, Roman Cleary, who was here just a moment ago, I'm Francis Carlotta. Peace. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you for watching this episode of Tigers Live. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.